All right. It's the sound of another Malarkey Hour coming right at you. This is your host, Matt, and with me, as always, my trusty, loyal co-host, Mr. John. How's it going, sir?
What's up?
All right, sir. Let's get this. You know what? I have a feeling tonight's podcast is going to be the best podcast we've ever done.
You want to call it epic?
It's going to be epic, John. That's what the kids are calling it these days. Epic.
Epic.
That's the cool word to use. I don't know. I haven't been cool since '93, so.
Yeah, I've been cool since 8th grade.
8th grade. Were you ever the coolest kid in class?
Believe it or not, no, I was not.
You
but I
were?
was actually pretty cool, like in 8th grade.
Like you're like the Fonz
like-
with the jackets.
No, I just had like a lot of friends that were like, I guess, popular.
Mm-hmm.
And then like 9th grade, like 9/11 happened, and I don't know.
It's the post 9/11 world. It
It turned my whole popularity just went to shit.
Right. Yeah, I was never cool. Nor did I ever want to be cool.
I figured, yeah, I've talked about it before. Or say it probably would have happened by now.
It seems like it's a lot of work, right, to be cool. Like you have to be detached all the time. You just gotta be.
But
like,
I wasn't like that. It was just, I think I was just like by association.
Yeah, I knew. You know what? Even in high school,
Like it wasn't an effort.
No,
it wasn't a conscious thing. It's
Yeah.
just something I reflected back on later.
Yeah, I think in high school I knew pretty much everybody, and even the cool, quote unquote, cool kids. It's just because you grew up elementary, middle school, whatever, right? By the time you get to high school, you know everybody. So
yeah, I peaked like in 8th grade.
You peaked in 8th grade.
Yeah.
So it's been downhill since 8th grade.
Oh yeah.
Who do you think you're gonna hit rock bottom? Or have you?
I probably have.
You have? You think in the
Actually,
popularity?
Oh, that part. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Well, I don't think this podcast is helping at all.
I'm still hoping to be cool, John. I'm hoping I invent something or you know what? But I wouldn't want to be famous. That's the catch-22 though. I don't want to be famous. It'll be terrible to be famous.
Then just keep doing this podcast, man.
Right.
You'll guarantee it.
All right. Let's get started. This week, first segment, John. It's a segment I like to call Celebrity Whoopsies. This is where we talk about a celebrity story. We get a little bit into the celebrity gossip, a story, something that happened with celebrities, people that we idolize. Today's gods, John. In other words.
Is there another?
Is there another? And you know what? I decided because we're starting November. And did you know, John, this week, it's going to be 9 years since the Conan talk show started.
Okay.
So on
TBS.
Yeah, on TBS. So November 8th, 2010 was the first Conan show on TBS.
Okay.
And
I watched the first one.
you watched the first one?
I remember the guest.
Who was the guest?
Is that part of the show?
No, I'm asking.
He had Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because he had Tom Hanks. No, he didn't have Tom Hanks in his first one.
I think that's what it was. Is that he had I think that's what he said.
He had Tom Hanks on his first one on NBC.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
yeah.
Tonight Show? The first Tonight Show or the first late night?
No, his first ever on TV was Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
So I think he did it again for the TBS.
Did he do it for Tonight Show?
I don't know about that.
Okay, because that's what we're going to talk about. So, in honor of this week being the anniversary of his talk show on TBS, I figure we go back a little bit and talk about.
It doesn't feel that long ago.
What prompted it? Doesn't, right? It's been 9 years.
Yeah. It's weird to celebrate a 9-year anniversary though.
Well, I don't think he is. I figure it's
fireworks and shit.
I was trying to think of a topic and I couldn't think of one, so
that's what this show's about.
Yeah. So I figured let's go. Let's talk about the incident that prompted him to go to TBS, and that is of course his departure as the host of the Tonight Show. His very short-lived time as the host of the Tonight Show. Tonight Show with Conan O'Brien. John, do you remember how long he had the Tonight Show? Try to guess how long he actually had that show.
Okay. I remember watching it like in middle school.
Was the Tonight Show with him?
No. I'm thinking of his old show on NBC.
I'm talking about
Oh, he had it for like 6 months,
like 6 months, right?
I think.
Mm-hmm.
Is that about right?
So he started as the host June 1st, 2009, and his last night as the host was January 22nd, 2010. So about 6 months.
That was pretty damn close.
Very short-lived.
Mhm. Can we just talk about how good I am at this?
On what? Very weird talent on guessing.
Right. Can you at least give me that?
If you can somehow monetize it, John, if you can figure out a way to monetize this very weird gift that you have.
I just bet this guy $1 million. I said, he said it was 5. He put the over under at 5.5 months. I bet the over.
All right. It sucks you can't monetize it, right? There's no way to like.
If I find that guy,
If you find that guy who's willing to do it,
yeah.
I mean, you gotta find the guy, John.
To bet on anything.
Yeah.
He's that guy that's betting on rugby at Vegas at 3 a.m.
So very short-lived host as the Tonight Show host. I'm sorry. He previously hosted, as we mentioned, NBC's Late Night with Conan O'Brien, which he did for 16 years. And he followed the Tonight Show with Jay Leno for 16 years. So he took over the Tonight Show. Didn't last long. Let's get into that time period, John. Way back when the last few days of the 2000s, the decade, the 2000s. We were just in the early mist of the Obama era.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a transition. Jay Leno was leaving Late Night, or at least that's what we thought, after so many years as the host of the Tonight Show.
Jay Leno was like, "I'm back, baby,"
and he's back. Do you remember what happened? Why he came back? He didn't leave. He didn't leave Late Night. He transitioned. Remember, he had, what was it called? The Jay Leno Show.
I know he had a show before Conan.
Called the Jay Leno Show.
Was it like a 30-minute show?
30-minute show, right after your local news, and right before the normal time slot of the Tonight Show.
Right.
So actually, it was 60 minutes.
Oh, it was an hour?
It was an hour. Yeah, but it was on super early because obviously it had to be before the Tonight Show. But
And I'm guessing it got good ratings, right?
he got terrible ratings.
Oh, did it?
He got terrible. Actually, both the Jay Leno Show and the Tonight Show with Conan O'Brien got terrible ratings.
Okay.
So that was part of the reason why they wanted to transition Jay Leno to a later night spot. Essentially, take Jay Leno into the Tonight Show, a little bit into the Tonight Show time slot, and move Conan over to midnight.
So Conan was still going to keep the Tonight Show.
He's still going to keep the Tonight Show.
They were going to push it back an hour.
Push it back to midnight, essentially.
So they're going to push it back a whole hour.
Mm-hmm.
And they were going to give Jay Leno his show, but in the Tonight Show slot.
Almost, yeah.
Basically?
Yeah, basically. And Conan said no.
Rightfully so.
And rightfully so. He said, this is what Conan O'Brien said. He said that he would not continue as the host of the Tonight Show. It was moved to any other time after midnight to accommodate the Jay Leno Show. What he feared is that it would ruin the long and rich tradition of the Tonight Show, which had been on after the late local newscast from the beginning. So after 2 weeks of negotiations, NBC announced that they essentially would pay $45 million to buy out Conan O'Brien's contract. So essentially ending both his tenure as host as well as his relationship with NBC. After 22 years, John. 22 years together.
I mean, that's really not bad money for 6 months worth of work.
$45 million. Yeah. Yeah.
It's really not bad.
So
what was he doing, 5 nights a week?
He was doing fine. 4 nights, I think.
4 nights?
Leno
Leno did 5, though.
Leno did 5 because Leno was a fucking workaholic. Known workaholic. Did not like taking vacation.
Carson didn't do 5.
Carson did 4.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Carson did 4.
And
Leno did 5.
I think he essentially did 3 nights of work, but 4 nights of material. I think he would film. They would film some stuff ahead of time. So
Okay.
yeah. I think Letterman did the same. I don't think he would do 5 nights a week either.
No, he did 4, I think.
He did 4, yeah, and then they would air a rerun on Fridays.
But I think
sometimes.
he did tape 1 a night though.
Yeah.
I don't think he would do like the 2 thing.
Yeah, but I think towards the end, especially towards the end, Carson was doing like a lot of ahead. You know, they would shoot ahead.
Yeah.
So he wasn't working like Thursdays, Fridays. Pretty sweet schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything about it.
Yeah, no, it's you were a Leno guy, right?
I love Leno. I
No,
loved. I think I would watch Leno more than Letterman.
Yeah, I was a Letterman guy.
Yeah, I mean, I love Letterman, but I would watch Leno way more than Letterman. Yeah,
I was the opposite.
yeah.
I do find Leno seems like a really funny guy.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah,
Like even now, he seems like he's really
it's
funny.
hilarious. Yeah.
That same guy that said he never spent his Tonight Show money.
Nah, apparently he spent all his essentially his stand up because he would do stand up every weekend.
Yeah.
He would
Which
fly out on Friday.
Letterman did not.
No, Letterman did not.
Like Letterman, as soon as he got the show, he's pretty much done, right?
Yeah, yeah. But Letterman didn't like doing stand up. It didn't seem like that wasn't his first
Although
love.
I heard he was very good.
Yeah.
I heard they were both like very good.
Yeah. It seemed like Gennaro really continues to love doing stand up.
But the difference that I've heard,
Mm-hmm.
and I think you probably heard the same thing, is that Leno really liked doing it.
Right.
I'm sorry. Letterman really liked doing it.
Doing what?
The show.
Oh yeah, the show.
Leno did not like the show, from what I understand.
They don't like doing the show, really.
He liked the monologue. He said
Mm-hmm.
he did.
He hated doing the interviews.
did not like talking to guests.
Yeah, he hated doing the interviews.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
But Letterman actually genuinely enjoyed the interviews too. Like he enjoyed the process. He enjoyed.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is just what I've read.
And you can tell.
I could be wrong.
You can tell why Leno's interviews sucked. Leno's interviews sucked. Like he was not a great interviewer. Nor do I think he wanted to be a good interviewer. I think it was just one of those like he had to do it. But
I think he said it.
uh-huh.
No, I'm saying I think he's probably said it since the show ended.
Yeah.
Because he has like a funny story. I think I told you, right?
Where he wasn't paying attention at all.
Yeah, like it was some girl from like a reality show that
Yeah.
he had just interviewed, and
Yeah.
she said like hi to him, and he's like, oh, he thought I wanted an autograph.
Yeah, after the show,
And
right?
she's like, oh, I was just on your show, and it took him a second, like,
Oh.
did I just interview? Like,
Yeah.
it's funny.
He just didn't
He thought I was
realize
just a fan.
Yeah, he just didn't
That's how he wasn't paying attention.
just hold out.
Yeah.
Yeah, for like 10 minutes or whatever long that
Yeah,
interview
just
was.
nod and smile.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like what I do when I talk to you.
Yeah. So, John,
I'm nodding and smiling.
Conan's stint on The Tonight Show. It lasted. How many episodes do you think it lasted?
I don't know, 6 months, 4. I gotta do math now.
I'm just asking. You don't have to. Just
Mm,
throw a ballpark figure. How much you think? How many episodes do you think they filmed?
let's say 30.
30 episodes over 6 months.
Wait, let me think. Hold on. He
You're
was doing
terrible on math.
He was doing 4 a week.
Yeah, we're six-ish months. Yeah.
Oh, it's 4 a week. I'm stupid. That's 16 a month average. Say it's 15. Shit, that seems like too much. So you figure about 15 a month, right?
Guess.
Okay, let's see. I'm about to look stupid.
Just throw out a number, John. You don't have to be accurate.
I'm gonna say 80.
It was 146 episodes. Only 145 aired.
I was gonna say 90.
There's one that didn't air apparently. I don't know which one.
How many air?
145 out of 146.
How was I off by that much?
I don't know. Although it was over 7 months and 3 weeks technically.
Okay.
Yeah. But you think about it, June was actually that would make it. Yeah.
Okay, so it's like one more month is gonna throw off a lot more episodes.
A little bit. It is the shortest running iteration in the 60-year history of the Tonight Show. Like all the other hosts, way more.
I mean, all you got is Carson and them.
Carson. Well, there's like Jack Parr. Wasn't there?
Oh, you're right.
There's like a lot of old. Like you forget there was other hosts before Johnny Carson.
They're like the James Bonds before.
Yeah.
Like
Before Sean Connery. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or after Connor, because Connor was the first James Bond.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But they're kind of like the
the ones in the middle,
like
yeah.
the Dalton.
Yeah, like Timothy Dalton, and
Yeah.
there is that one guy who did like one James Bond movie. I forget his name.
Right.
Very British
yeah,
looking
yeah.
guy.
I can't remember either.
Yeah, I forget his name.
Because I mean, Roger Moore had how many?
Roger Moore. I think he was tied with Pierce Bronson. I think Pierce Bronson tied him.
Did about what?
Because
Like,
Sean Connery didn't do that many. That's what people don't realize. He did.
he just made it really famous.
Yeah, he just made it really famous. Timothy Dalton didn't do as many either. I think he did like 2 or 3. Can't remember. And there's that one guy. He did one.
Brosnan did more than 2 or 3, right?
Yeah, he did way more. Yeah, I think him and Roger Moore are tied for the most.
Oh, okay. So
And then Daniel
probably
Craig.
about 7.
Daniel Craig's up there now. Like he's up there in the amounts.
Dude, you know what? I don't. What do you think of not Daniel Craig, but the movies? Do you think they're good?
Yeah, they're really good.
I
They're
just.
excellent.
Yeah, I just don't like. I guess I just don't get into him as much.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of like. I don't know. It's like I cannot remember Casino Royale. I just can't remember. I remember like a couple of scenes,
Mhm.
mostly when he's gambling.
Mhm.
But it's like I'm more of like if I have to do that versus like Mission Impossible. I'm
Mhm.
like all into Mission Impossible versus James Bond.
All right. All right.
Right. Although like Javier Bardem was a good bad guy.
Mhm.
You know, it's kind of like Mission Impossible with Tom Cruise, the best bad guy ever. Probably Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Mhm.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
As far as just like, oh, you're good at being a psychopath.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Why is this called Celebrity Whoopsies? We're going off on James Bond for a while.
I don't know. So John, did you know that the Tonight Show with Conan O'Brien used stage 1 at Universal Studios in Universal City, California? So that stage was specifically built and constructed for this version of the Tonight Show, and it was actually previously used for Jack Benny's television show. And this was the first time since before May 1972, when Johnny Carson served as host, that the show was not shot in Burbank, California. So,
Okay, so
and Burbank, as you know, is considered one of the media.
So Burbank
capitals.
is where they shoot. Like, is that like Warner Brothers?
Essentially, yeah. Well, Burbank is Warner Bros. In Burbank. I think it is. I can't remember.
know.
You've been to California.
Too
Way
many
more
times.
Yeah, so you should know. So
right now.
so let's rewind a little bit before
3400 Warner Boulevard, Burbank, California.
Yeah, it's in Burbank, considered the media capital of the world, the media city or whatever.
I don't know.
Yeah,
But I'll just tell you that's Warner Brothers, yeah.
yeah. So
All my knowledge comes from Entourage.
really,
No, I mean, kind of. It helps.
all right. So let's rewind a little bit and go back before he took over, Conan O'Brien. So on September 27th, 2004, it was officially declared, and this was 5 years before he was going to take over. It was officially declared that Conan O'Brien would take over as host of the Tonight Show in 2009, replacing Jay Leno, ending a 17-year run by Leno. So this is accompanied by reports that Leno had told Jeff Zucker, who was currently the president of NBC Entertainment.
I thought he started Facebook.
Jeff Zucker.
Yeah.
I think you
Is
mean
it Jeff Zuckerberg?
Jeff Zuckerberg. Yes.
Ah.
I think you mean Jeff Zuckerberg
That's why I get confused.
or Mark Zuckerberg
No.
or
That
or
wasn't.
Tim Zuckerberg
I
or Bill Zuckerberg
Bill. It was Bill.
or Bill Zimmerman.
Is it Zimmerman?
Was it Zimmerman? It might have been Zimmerman. Maybe it was Zeus. It's a lot of Z names, right? So anyway, he told Jay Leno,
Zodiac. It
Jay
was
Leno-
the Zodiac.
Jay Leno told Jeff Zucker that he wanted to retire that year, 2009. Leno immediately explained on his show the following night that in having Conan take over the show and announcing it years before the transition would take place, that he wanted to avoid the hardship that he had experienced in the dispute over retiring Johnny Carson's hosting duties between him and David Letterman back in 1992. Remember those late night wars?
I remember he announced the Conan thing.
Mm-hmm. So, further commenting about the announcement, Leno made it clear that Conan was certainly the most deserving person for the job. However, in 2008, while Leno was beginning to bring his show to a close, it was announced that Leno had changed his mind about retiring and would instead host a new primetime variety show on NBC. The Jay Leno show aired weeknights at 10 p.m.
Did you watch it?
I did watch it. It was actually before the news. So it was an hour right before the hour.
That is a weird thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because it keeps you out of like the rhythm of. I think like there is something to marketing with like
right after the news
rhythm. It's like yeah, you can't just do like Jay Leno comedy. It's like hey, news, local murder, and then just be like hey, Conan Tonight Show. Like, you got to keep it.
You got to keep it
back to back.
Yeah, back to back. Yeah, and it's sort of hurt having your whatever local news sandwich. I mean, basically sandwiched by these two shows.
This was on what? This is on NBC, right?
NBC, yeah.
What aired after that? Do you know?
What do you mean?
Do you remember what aired after Conan, like that night?
It was still the late night show, but this was the Jimmy Fallon version when Jimmy Fallon took over.
Oh, before he had the Tonight
Yeah,
show.
yeah, because he took over Conan O'Brien's slot.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and then that was another reason why Conan didn't want to move his show, because then he would be moving, what's his name's
Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon's show even further to like after one.
Right.
And then he'd be moving. Who else was being after him? There's like another show, right?
There's another one.
Yeah.
Is it the guy that does the? Who's the guy that does the karaoke thing? The British guy now.
Yeah, but it wasn't a show back then. But it was it was essentially that time slot.
But that was NBC or was that CBS?
That was that was CBS.
Yeah,
that's CBS. He's CBS.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know who was doing the late NBC after that.
I don't know.
Anyway.
And then he would have to go up against Craig Ferguson, your favorite talk show host of all time.
No, mine's Letterman, but I think Craig Ferguson's very underrated.
Mm-hmm. So, John, the first show, Conan. First episode.
How about the original, like Conan, like in
the Tonight Show with Conan O'Brien.
Okay.
It included actor and comedian Will Ferrell, and Pearl Jam came out. And
that was the one with Tom Hanks?
No, Tom Hanks was not on the first Tonight Show.
It
was a Tonight Show with Conan O'Brien, the first one.
Ah, okay. I'm going back to TBS like an idiot. Okay, yeah.
This is Tonight Show, John, not Conan.
All right. Shut up.
Get it right, John. Get it right.
I'll walk out right now.
So essentially, the first episode, cold open, Conan O'Brien was shown preparing to hold his first episode of the Tonight Show, going over a list of things that need to be done. But he realized he was still in New York and forgotten to move to L.A. Because remember, he would film his old show in New York, but the Tonight Show had to be filmed in L.A. because it had been filmed in L.A. for forever since Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
So it was a skit. So after trying and failing to catch a taxi cab, Conan ran across the country through such places as Amish Country, Wrigley Field in Chicago, the Gateway Arch in St. Louis, the Teton Range, Las Vegas, and the deserts of Arizona before arriving at Universal Studios Hollywood to host the show.
They actually went all those places, right?
Yeah, they filmed.
Yeah, I remember the promo, or I remember the clip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So upon arriving, Conan realized he left the keys to the new studio in New York, and then drove a bulldozer through the door and wall of the studio to get in. With Cheap Trick's song "Surrender" playing over. Sketch.
I mean, that wasn't real, right? That was a sketch.
That's sketch.
There's got to be a more efficient way to get his keys.
Yes, you would hope so, right?
Yeah.
And did you know, John?
A less destructive way to get your keys.
So let's go back to one of the reasons why they wanted to move some of these time slots. On the premiere of the show, actually did pretty well. The debut episode generated 9.2 million viewers overall and a 3.8 rating in adults 18 to 49. I don't know what that means, but apparently it's good.
Is that good?
Yeah. Ratings for the debut episode were higher than both CBS's Late Show with David Letterman and ABC's Nightline combined, with a 7.1 rating and a 17 audience share.
That's just people. I'm not saying Conan was bad or anything. It's just they were just following yeah.
It was hyped, right? I mean, it was the first show,
Well,
so
yeah,
people
I
want
mean,
to
you're
watch.
gonna get a lot of your Tonight Show viewers just watching it.
Mm-hmm. So during the rest of of that premiere week, the ratings dropped each day from a 5.0 on Tuesday to a 3.5 on Friday, though the latter still exceeded the evening's 2.7 rating for Late Show.
That's about what we have right now.
We got about 3.5, 3.5 views, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Two of them are us.
yeah, I don't listen to this show.
I wouldn't.
So
We're gonna start charging, guys.
right. Can you imagine?
Maybe someday.
So, John, actually on June 9th, 2009, Late Show, the obviously Dave and Letterman show, had it rated better than the Tonight Show with a 3.4 rating compared to Tonight Show's 2.9. It was the first time in over 8 months that Letterman rated better than his NBC counterpart. The Tonight Show would end up winning week 2, however, with O'Brien garnering more than 85,000 viewers more than Late Show with David Letterman.
Man, you're throwing a lot of numbers.
A lot of numbers. I'm sorry. A lot of numbers.
Okay, you know our viewers don't know math.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Our listeners.
Yes.
Viewers, listeners, whatever.
Yes.
You're still a viewer because usually it's YouTube and
Uh-huh.
usually put up like pictures.
All right. Sorry.
Yeah.
So let's fast forward to November 20th.
They listen because they can't read.
Because they can't read. So let's fast
That's
forward,
our
John.
demographic.
Let's fast forward so there's not so many numbers. Because I could go day by day in ratings if you really want.
Let's do that.
If you would let me. But let's fast forward a little bit to November 2009. So
you want to talk about Albert Fish for a while?
No, that's fine. We already talked about him.
Notorious child serial killer.
So, John, in November 2009, so this was 2 months after the premiere of the Jay Leno show. So Jay Leno show premiered 3 months after Conan O'Brien's version of The Tonight Show.
More numbers.
So ratings for The Tonight Show around that time were down roughly 2 million viewers a night year to year from when Leno hosted the program. Though cheaper to produce than the scripted dramas it replaced, Leno's new primetime talk show generated fewer lead-in viewers for local news programs, causing a domino effect on ratings for The Tonight Show and Late Night with Jimmy Fallon. So because Leno's 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern time slot right before the nightly news,
people get turned off. They don't want to watch.
They don't want to watch the rest of that night's program.
They don't want to watch anything else from that network that night.
That night, yeah. So it's a domino effect. The nightly news suffers. The Tonight Show suffers. Jimmy Fallon's show suffers. And nobody gets as much money as they were getting before.
Yeah.
So, John, on January 12th, 2010, in response to the controversy
numbers
of the late night schedule change, O'Brien's ratings grew to 1.7 rating, 7 share among adults 18 to 49, up 40% from the previous day. And on Thursday, January 14th, 2010, Conan garnered a 1.9 rating, up 0.2.
Guys, if you're going to listen to this podcast, I recommend you get a calculator.
I'm going to throw more numbers at you, John. So on his last show,
there's probably a calculator
I
on
did
your
warn
phone.
This was the ratings portion of this segment, John. So I did warn everybody. So you want to fast forward.
You want to go over our ratings?
So, John, his last show actually garnered his best ratings with a 4.8 rating with adults 18 to 49 and 40% better than the 3.4 ratings with adults 18 to 49 Jay Leno got in his last show. This is last night's show on May 29th, 2009.
See, I don't even know if that... I mean, I guess... I don't know how good that is. I know it's not good because...
Not good.
I know the results indicate it wasn't good.
So you know, let's get...
So I'm just saying, like, to get into specifics, I'm not trying to, like... Yeah, I'm talking shit. Okay. Yeah, I'm talking shit right now. Because
I never said it was going to be a fun portion of this segment, John.
Okay,
I was going to go over the ratings.
Okay.
You know what? Let's go back and, you know, let's get your take on this. Were you a Team Coco guy or a Team Leno guy? Did you pick sides at all in this feud between the redhead and the chin?
I was a Team Coco.
You're a Team Redhead.
Yep.
You didn't think the chin, what he did it was.
I like him.
But
I-
he's garnered a reputation of being a little bit of a little cutthroat, right? Starting from when he first took over the Tonight Show, and then even through this episode,
I know that Letterman Leno thing wasn't pretty.
it wasn't pretty at all, right? Yeah.
No, I mean I like him,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, who's to say? Is like did he do the right thing? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't.
I mean, he did say he was going to retire.
All I can say is I understand why Conan was pissed.
Yeah, I would be too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know everyone's like, well, he's still getting a lot of money. I go, but you know what? At some point for him, I go, he's not doing it for the money anymore.
Nah, he doesn't need the money.
No, he doesn't need the money.
Doesn't mean
Neither one of them need
no,
the money.
No, I know he did throw out the excuse that he employs a lot of people and they would lose their jobs. Leno.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I can see his point there, but
Right, because when your show's over, your people are done.
like he's rich, but they're not.
Right.
So they don't have a job anymore.
Well, that's why Conan did that thing. Remember that tour where he was like playing, like he was like touring. It was
Yeah,
like
because he couldn't be on TV.
yeah, they made like a documentary about it, and
Yeah.
he was just like going from city to city. I would have wanted to go.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I don't know if it came here probably did come here. Maybe.
I can't remember.
Either way, it was like he went across the country, did like a music thing with like a variety show. And,
Yeah.
And it was a way and I don't even think he took any money.
I can't remember.
If he did, like, it wasn't much. Like, he just wanted, I mean, at least he was getting his staff paid.
I forgot what it was called. It was like legally obligated, legally not able to be on television, tour, or something like that. He named something ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's go over some of the specifics, John, because I don't think you remember some of the negotiations or some of the rumors that came out. Because Conan, right away, when the news came out that they're going to move his time slot, he said, no, I'm not going to do it. There's no fucking way that I'm going to be at midnight.
Is that an exact quote?
I'm paraphrasing a lot. So.
Okay.
So.
Then he said, fuck your mama.
Fuck your mama. No, TMZ reported, John, that we know TMZ. Impeccable journalist.
Never wrong.
Never wrong. Never wrong.
Best ever.
That O'Brien was given no advance notice of the change, John. That would piss you off, right? If you since you hear it, like, hey, by the way, John, I'm gonna replace you as co-host of the Malarkey Hour, and I would tell you like 2 minutes before the podcast started.
I'd be like, what is this, my birthday? Jesus.
You know what's funny though? You talk all this shit, but you're the one who's like really wanted this show to come back. You bugged me for like 2 years.
I don't think I did.
Matt, when is Malarkey Hour coming back?
I think you're full of shit.
2 fucking years at the here.
You're full of shit.
You say drunkenly,
You're full of shit.
when is the show coming back?
You're so full of shit.
So I don't want you to act all cool like the Fonz. Like,
I'll tell you
you're
what
too
I did
cool.
want to do.
Like you're too cool for school.
I did want to do our top 10 movies, though.
Okay, we did do it.
I don't think we aired it.
Yeah. Well, we'll wear it this year. Well, 'cause the end of the year's coming up.
No, we could air the one from last year.
I used to want to do that.
Why not?
Yeah. I think I deleted it.
Serious?
I don't know where it is.
Who cares? Upload it.
No, I don't know where it is. That's what I'm saying.
All right, whatever.
So they reported that
Just because all your choices were wrong.
oh, whatever. What do you mean wrong? It's like it's all opinion based. That's just funny.
Yeah.
So O'Brien was given no advance
Picking
notice.
Big
John.
Mama's House 2 every year.
Yeah, it's still a good movie. And that embassy offered 2 choices, John. They gave him 2 choices. Either he does the hour long 12 midnight time slot,
Mm-hmm.
or
And that also pushes Jimmy Fallon back.
yeah, it pushes Jimmy Fallon back,
Mm-hmm.
or he leaves the network.
with
Those are his
with
two-
$45 million.
No. I mean, this was before they negotiated that. So if O'Brien did choose to leave, Leno would likely regain the Tonight Show title as well as the full 11:30 p.m. to 12:39 a.m. time slot. So what they were thinking is they were gonna shorten Leno's hour, the Jay Leno show, from 11:30 to midnight, and then Conan O'Brien. So his show was gonna be moved like 30 minutes, but Conan
Right.
didn't want to do that.
Right.
He refused. Because he said this is a Tonight Show, not the next morning show. Right?
Okay.
So
Is that what he said?
I think I'm paraphrasing that, but it was similar to that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So it actually became like quite serious for a while.
it was yeah.
It was a big drama. I remember him doing like a 60 minutes piece on it.
Yeah. Why he was still technically the host. Yeah.
Yeah. And
So another possibility was that NBC would pay O'Brien to refrain from working for another network, remain off air, then have him resume as host once Leno retires. So the day after the change was announced, the New York Times spoke with an anonymous Fox executive who said that the company felt O'Brien would be a great fit for Fox. ABC had stated they felt no need to add O'Brien to their late night schedule, which already contained Nightline and Jimmy Kimmel Live. So on January 12th, O'Brien issued a press release that stated he would not continue with the NBC program if it moves to a 12:05 a.m. time slot, saying, I believe that delaying the Tonight Show until the next day to accommodate another comedy program would seriously damage what I consider to be the greatest franchise in the history of broadcasting.
yeah, I mean, I have no objections. It's just a statement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's valid,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's like, how do you? Yeah, it's like it's one of those things. I mean, at the end of the day, it's business.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand. It's like neither of you need this money. It's
Yeah,
really
no.
about. It's
It's about their staff.
It's about your pride. It's about
A lot of it's pride, yeah.
It's about pride. It's about reputation. It's about respect.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And yeah. It's. I know, like, they're funny guys make it a funny show, but it wasn't a funny subject.
Mm-hmm.
It really wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, it was really like a,
Mm-hmm.
ooh, is it like kind of like you said, like the Letterman versus Leno thing, like in the 90s, right?
Yeah. So there's another interesting thing that came out, a possibility. So on January 15th, all headline news reported that NBC intended to keep Conan off the air completely for 3.5 years without pay, unless he agreed to NBC's terms. So obviously that wasn't going to happen. Insiders for both NBC and O'Brien reportedly dismissed the notion as ludicrous. But as we know,
How'd that work out?
He was paid out $45 million. Although he did,
it's really not that bad.
although he was required to be off the air for however amount of time he was.
I think a year. I think it was 1 year.
No, not completely, because he came back that November. So he left that January and he was back on the air by November. So
Do you know how long it was?
I mean, that's 10 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why he did that tour.
So this is yeah exactly. So this is the settlement between NBC and O'Brien. On January 21st, 2010, after 2 weeks of negotiation, it was officially announced that Conan O'Brien had signed a $45 million deal to leave NBC altogether, ending a partnership that lasted 22 years. The Wall Street Journal reported that O'Brien would receive about $32 million, executive producer Jeff Ross $4.5 million, and the rest of the staff around $7.5 million. The deal did not, however, contain a previously rumored mitigation clause in which NBC would be able to keep some of the severance pay after O'Brien found a new program. It also stipulated that O'Brien could freely return to television as early as September 1st, 2010 on another network.
I remember I did watch the first one on
TBS?
TBS when Tom Hanks was on.
Mm-hmm.
And it was funny.
Mm-hmm.
Because Tom Hanks goes, "I'll see." I'm paraphrasing. He goes, "I can't wait till I can be on your next time, or when you come back again." He goes, "On Univision." I started laughing. I go, "That's pretty funny."
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah. Tom Hanks is a funny guy.
You know what's interesting, since I think O'Brien towards the end didn't give a fuck. So I've forgotten about this. So on January 20th episode, it included a comedic bit in which O'Brien unveiled a Bugatti Veyron dressed as a mouse, while the song "I Can't Get No Satisfaction" by the Rolling Stones played in the background. O'Brien claimed that the car and music licensing fees, not to mention the rights to re-air this clip on the internet, would cost NBC $1.5 million.
Oh, so he was just fucking with him at
Yeah.
that point.
Yeah. So the expensive comedy bit continued the next night, where it was featured the 2009 Kentucky Derby winner Mind That Bird wearing a mink snuggie, watching restricted Super Bowl footage, which O'Brien claimed cost NBC $4.8 million.
That's pretty funny.
So the final episode upped the ante with a purported $65 million sketch featuring a credit card purchasing fossil skeleton of a ground sloth from the Smithsonian Institution spraying beluga caviar through a hose onto an original Picasso painting.
Okay, wait, what? What?
But it was a joke.
They didn't air it.
No, but this was a joke. That one was a joke. Yeah, that was a
Oh,
joke.
they didn't really do that.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what?
And I don't know if you remember this, but on his last show, the last segment, it included a performance of Free Bird, and
I don't remember if I watched his last one. I think I did. I just don't remember it that well.
And this is his last statement, John, and I'll end it like this. This is his last statement. He said, "Ladies and gentlemen, before we bring this rodeo to a close, I think a couple of things should be said. There's been a lot of speculation in the press about what I legally can't say about NBC, and this isn't a joke. To set the record straight, and this is true, tonight I'm allowed to say anything I want. Tonight I really am allowed to say whatever I want, and what I want to say is this. Between my time on Saturday Night Live, the late night show, and my brief run here on the Tonight Show, I've worked with NBC for over 20 years. Yes, we have our differences right now. Yes, we're going our separate ways, but this company has been my home for most of my adult life. I am enormously proud of the work we have done together, and I want to thank NBC for making it all possible. I really do. A lot of people have been asking me about my state of mind. I'll be honest with you. Walking away from the Tonight Show is the hardest thing I have ever had to do. Making this choice has been enormously difficult. This is the best job in the world. I absolutely love doing it, and I have the best staff and crew in the history of the medium. I will fight anybody who says I don't, but no one would. But despite this sense of loss, I really feel this should be a happy moment. Every comedian dreams of hosting the Tonight Show, and for 7 months, I got to do it. And I did it my way, with people I love. I do not regret 1 second of anything we've done here. I encounter people when I walk on the street now, who give me sort of a sad look. I have had more good fortune than anybody I know. If our next gig is doing a show in a 7-Eleven parking lot, we will find a way to make it fun. We really will, and I will have no problems. I don't want to do it in a 7-Eleven parking lot, but whatever. Finally, I have something to say to our fans. This massive outpouring of support and passion from so many people has been overwhelming for me. The rallies, the signs, all this goofy, outrageous creativity on the internet, the fact that people have traveled long distances and camped out all night in the pouring rain to be in our audience. Here's what all of you have done. You made a sad situation joyous and inspirational. So to all the people watching, I can never, ever thank you enough for the kindness to me. I'll think about it for the rest of my life, and all I ask is one thing. And I'm asking this particularly of young people that watch. Please do not be cynical. I hate cynicism. For the record, it is my least favorite quality. It doesn't.
Because I'm still rich,
it
bitch.
doesn't lead anywhere. Nobody in life gets exactly what they thought they were going to get. But if you work really hard and you're kind, amazing things will happen. I'm telling you, amazing things will happen. I'm telling you.
45 million, motherfucker.
It's just true. And that was his final statement.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's the story of The Tonight Show with Conan O'Brien. That's told by us.
Yeah, I think you ever have kids, I mean, just tell them that at night. Read it to them. Good bedtime story.
Mm-hmm. It's a good story.
It is a good story, man. And then he made $45 million in 6 months. The end. It's really not a bad payday.
Yeah. So, let's move on, John.
Yeah.
To something a little bit more joyous.
Yeah.
Let's talk about
that story you just told about Conan making $45 million in 6 months.
Because
It just brings me down.
Because did you make 45 million, John? Well, you only made 32. You have to share the other.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that is sad.
Yeah, it is very sad. Let's our next segment, John. We're gonna do. We've done it before. It's a little segment I like to call "I'm Gonna Party Like It's 1999." And in this segment, we celebrate something from the glorious decade that we knew as the 1990s. Do you remember the 90s, John?
I'm 21, so I'm barely. I lived through them, I guess.
You lived through them? If you were really 21, did you live through them? You didn't live through anything, no. I don't think you know how to do math.
No. So, it was those 2 years, though, were, intense. Is it 2? Did I get that right?
Yeah, you got that right. If you're really 21. But we all know John is 65 years old. So.
I'm 104. I've been 104 years old since 9/11.
Since 9/11.
Yeah.
So John, for this segment, I wanted to talk about I don't know your exposure to this 90s relic.
I didn't expose myself to anyone.
This 90s relic, but I wanted to talk about a little thing called. Do you remember Beanie Babies, John?
Yes, I do.
Did you ever have any Beanie Babies?
No.
So the Beanie Babies were actually created in 1993, and were pretty popular during the last half of the 1990s. And that's it.
Wow.
No, they were essentially stuffed toys. They were
Yeah.
stuffed toys that got really popular and really, really expensive.
Were they that expensive?
They were collectible items.
I think they resold for a lot, right?
They resold for a shit ton. So John, in 1993, when they were first launched,
Not gonna lie, I have 400 Beanie Babies.
do you really?
Never used, never opened.
They're open.
Did they come in packages?
Huh?
Did they come in packages?
I can't remember. I never had a Beanie Baby.
Yeah, me neither. Actually, my sister had some.
Did she?
I think so.
So John, the first 9 original.
Let's talk about Gigapets.
Did you have a Gigapet?
No, I used to make fun of this kid in school because he was always playing with his Gigapet, under his desk, so we wouldn't get in trouble.
Yeah.
But for those of you who don't know, it was before it was a little keychain size thing, right?
Yeah.
You a little pet and you would feed it. It was it ran on a watch battery or something.
Yeah.
And you would feed it and you would do things to keep it alive and gain points. However the fuck that stupid thing worked.
Yeah.
And he would play with it under his desk.
Mm-hmm.
And it totally looked like he was masturbating the whole time.
Well, this 90s relic, unlike that 90s relic, did not cause people to look like they were masturbating in class, John.
I knew this kid used to have sex with a Beanie Baby under his desk.
So, John, in 1993...
I would just tell him, stop,
1993...
stop, dude. You're going to get caught.
1993 was the first year that Beanie Babies were launched. And the 9 originals were something called... And I'm going to list them. Legs the Frog, Squealer the Pig, Spot the Dog, Flash the Orca, Splash the Whale, Chocolate the Moose, Patty the Platypus, Brownie the Bear, which was later renamed Cubby, and Pinchers the Lobster.
I had one called Who the Fuck Cares?
They were not in factory production until 1994, and sales were slow at first to the point that by 1995, many retailers refused to buy the products in the bundles that the company Thai offered them, while others outright refused to buy them in any form. Their popularity, though, soon grew, however, first starting locally in Chicago before growing into a national craze in the USA. So,
Not gonna lie, I got them all.
You got them all? So in 1996, Thai Inc., the company that made these Beanie Babies, released a new product called Teeny Beanies, a miniature offshoot of the original Beanie Babies line. They were sold alongside McDonald's Happy Meals to celebrate that product's 17th anniversary. Thai Inc. stopped producing.
You get them with a Happy Meal?
You used to get them with. I remember those. I remember when they weren't included in. I think they came in keychains. I can't remember. They stopped producing them, John, in December 1999. but consumer demand led them to reconsider. So production restarted in 2000 with a Beanie Baby named The Beginning.
Wow.
Um,
There's a whole fucking team of people, right? Just like, what do you want to call it?
The Beginning.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. This is our first one. What do you want to call it?
So,
We're just starting.
uh-huh.
You got something original?
So they're still they're still going strong, John. So in early 2008, Ty released a new version of Beanie Babies called Beanie Babies 2.0. The purchase of a Beanie Baby 2.0 provided its owner with a code to access an online Beanie Babies interactive website. The website has since been shut down.
Shocker.
By 2017, Beanie Baby incarnations of characters from My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic were available.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about, since neither of us really played with them, a little bit about the design.
I never said that. I just said I didn't have any.
So you've played with Beanie Babies.
I've
Touched them.
touched them, yes.
Okay.
Not
So-
in a weird way, like I've touched them.
So the design.
I mean, who's to say what's weird these days, right?
I don't know. Yeah. So Beanie Babies are deliberately understuffed, John. This led to a criticism that the toys looked cheap. However, this set them apart from most stuffed animals on the market, which could not be posed easily. Ty Warner has said that this understuffed method made the toys look "quote unquote" real. Another important design element is the tag, the little tag they had right there, right? Since the beginning, and I remember that tag. You remember that tag I had?
Yeah.
Since the beginning, Beanie Babies have included two tags for identification: a heart-shaped swing tag at the top and a fabric tush tag at the bottom. Both tags have been redesigned completely over time.
I was a huge fan of that tush tag.
Oh, the tush tag. You really looked at the tush tag.
Yeah.
And actually, John, between 1994 and 1996, the swing tags had a to and from blanks in them, so you could use them as gifts. So to somebody and from somebody.
That's what I did to John, from John.
So starting in early 1996, the tags included 4-line poems related to the Beanie Baby and a date of birth for the toy. The poem and birthday concept was created by Lena Trivetti, who is credited as authoring the poems on the first 136 Beanie Babies that were introduced to the marketplace.
Cool.
Oh, there's another thing that actually making Beanie Babies valuable. This is one of the things that contributed to it. It was not uncommon for Beanie Babies to be accidentally shipped out with incorrect or misspelled tags, which sometimes increased the toy's value. On occasion, the poems, birth dates, and even the names have been changed on certain Beanie Babies.
It's weird, right? Factory defects just
Makes
increase
increase the value like
sometimes.
crazy. You see that on Star Wars toys too from like the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
Like if they fucked up like some of the like writing or whatever. There's a few.
Yeah, I think there's a movie poster that's worth a lot of money because they
fucked it up.
screwed it up.
Yeah, and like 10 went out and they fixed it, but those 10 are one of the most valuable items. Yeah.
I don't know how many, but yeah.
Yeah.
whatever.
So this is this what made them collectible, John. So Beanie Babies began to emerge as popular collectibles in late 1995 and became a hot toy. The company's strategy of deliberate scarcity, producing each new design in limited quantity, restricting individual store shipments to limited numbers of each design, and regularly retiring designs created a huge secondary market for the toys and increased their popularity and value as a collectible.
Okay, is this kind of like, because sometimes I'll like resell cars sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Is this kind of like I've done a few like 90 like something Honda Accords,
Mm-hmm.
and then one time like the trunk was full of cocaine? Is that similar?
That's very similar. Yeah,
Basically the same thing, because
basically.
I think it was more valuable
Yeah.
because
There's not that many with that.
no there was
that feature.
it was a lot of cocaine.
Yeah, but not a lot of cars have that feature in it.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's like
It's the same thing.
yeah, it's the same thing. It's like so
Yeah.
I'm just
Mm-hmm.
the Beanie Baby model.
Mm-hmm. So John Ty systematically retired various.
I mean, it wasn't as much cocaine because I had been back there a few times and
Yeah.
checked on it.
Yeah. So
Then I kept getting less and
less and less. So Ty systematically retired various designs. None of this will air, John. Ty systematically retired various
I'm
designs.
just kidding, kids. Don't do drugs.
No,
I just
don't
like
do drugs.
being absurd.
No. And many people assumed that all retired designs would rise in value the way that early retirees had. The craze lasted through 1999 and slowly declined after the Thai company announced they would no longer be making Beanie Babies and made a bear called The End. Some time after the original announcement that the company would stop production, Thai asked the public to vote on whether the product should continue. Fans and collectors
What do you want to call it? The beginning? What do you want to call it?
The end.
The end.
John,
Meeting adjourned.
John, at the height of his popularity, people would flip beanies at as much as tenfold on eBay. Indeed, at the height, beanies made up 10% of eBay sales.
Shut
Crazy.
up.
That's crazy. 10% of eBay sales was Beanie Babies.
I still got outbidded for my haunted Steve Urkel
You
doll.
won't shut up about it like 20 years later.
Fucking ridiculous.
Some collectors insured their purchases for thousands of dollars. These are some of the key factors that contributed to the collectible nature of these Beanie Babies. So one of them was its unique creative elements. Each product contained a unique birthday and poem that was printed on the tag of every Beanie Baby. Obviously, supply and demand, scarce.
Every Beanie Baby stuffed with cocaine.
Supply and demand, scarce availability. Fell short of the product demand. The availability itself. Beanie Babies were initially only sold in individually owned small gift and specialty shops, so you couldn't buy them everywhere. And new releases and / retirements. Several times a year, Beanie Babies would retire, and the production of these characters would cease to make room for new designs. So, once that individual Beanie Baby was retired, you couldn't buy it anymore. So if you had any of that particular Beanie Baby, now you can sell that for a lot more because you couldn't get it in stores anymore.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm learning so much right now.
So, John, let's go through some notable Beanie Babies. You ready?
No.
Ready for this? You ready for this excitement? So there's one called Garcia the Bear.
Okay.
He was released in January 96 and retired in May 1997. He is a tie-dyed bear that seems to be a tribute to musician Jerry Garcia of the Grateful Dead.
Right.
Another one was called Princess the Bear.
Cherry Garcia.
Princess the Bear was named after Diana, Princess of Wales, who died on August 31st, 1997. And this bear was released October 29th, 1997 in honor of Princess Diana. There's one called Decade the Bear.
Can I tell my tasteless joke for my uncle?
Go ahead.
When I was a kid.
Because
how old were we when Princess Diana died?
Diana died in 90. We're about 11.
Okay.
Yeah, just turning 11.
You were probably like 18, but yeah, I was like 11. No, I just remember he told me, and I was a kid. We were like 11, right? 11, 12, whatever.
Yeah.
10, 11. I don't fucking know.
10, 11.
But it was like a big story on the news.
She died, yeah.
I just remember that
She was
week.
murdered by the British royalty.
That's a whole conspiracy I don't want to get into right now.
Go ahead.
I just remember my uncle. We're young, and he goes, I already knew the story. I just didn't really know it was that big of a deal.
Yeah, I read the Star articles.
And I remember like the TV like coverage was like nonstop.
Yeah.
And he told me, he goes, Princess Diana was on the radio? I go, oh, really? He goes, yeah, and on the dashboard and on the steering wheel. And I was like, it made me laugh, even as a child.
Your uncle was hilarious.
He's no longer with us, so that's for him.
There's also something called Decade the Bear, John. Decade the Bear was made in honor of Beanie Baby's 10th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
There's something called Tabasco the Bull. It was originally named Tabasco after the Tabasco sauce.
Hot item.
And then the name was changed to Snort to avoid trademark infringement. There's one called Peanut the Royal Blue Elephant.
Allergic item.
Yeah, John, did you know that there is problems with counterfeit Beanie Babies?
Oh yeah, man. I tried running this counterfeit Beanie Baby business for a while.
They started to surface around 1997.
You ever get your ass beat in a parking lot for trying to sell
This was
a crate full of counterfeit Beanie
this
Babies?
This was funny about one of the biggest
I'm
cases.
asking, have you?
Yeah, I have. One of the biggest cases
I
of
don't believe
counterfeit
you.
babies
Tell me the story.
was in 1998, John. 1998. English authorities seized more than
See the
6,000.
scar on my forehead?
Yes.
That reminds me.
In 1998, English authorities seized more than 6,000 princesses and Britannias.
Sure.
So that was a big thing. Counterfeit Beanie Babies.
I know it's a dangerous business.
It's a very dangerous business.
Yeah.
So Beanie Babies, John. If you still have them, probably not worth anything.
So they're
Unless you own some of these. And
so I'm saying they peaked and then they
peaked, but there's still some that may make you some money. Now granted, this is from last year, so I don't know if these prices might have fluctuated a little bit. But let me list like 10 of one of the more expensive Beanie Babies.
Sure.
Okay, you ready?
No.
There was one called Large Wallace and his Squad. So this rare large size Wallace and his friends, 2 regular size Wallace, and Cashew and Huggy will set an extremely enthusiastic collector back nearly $1 million. You get it for $660,000 on eBay right now.
All right.
Or at the time.
I mean,
There was a Princess Bear, which was, as we spoke, it was made after Princess Diana. You get it for $17.95 on eBay. That's still a pretty penny for.
it's more than I spent on cars.
Yeah. There is one. It's a large Ariel and a 9-inch. Her 9-inch friends, Izzy, Ariel, and Peanut.
Wait, did you say areola?
Ariel, like the Little Mermaid. Ariel.
Okay,
660.
So we got a large areola for how much?
660,000.
That's an expensive areola.
A 15-inch Peace Bear and 9-inch Peace, Ringo and Bones, 159,000.
Mm-hmm.
Bubbles, which is a fish, 109,000.
Mm-hmm.
Hippity, so a bunny, for almost $50,000.
Yeah.
Patty the Platypus, $15,000. Blackie the Bear, almost $39,000.
Sounds a little racist.
Valentino, it's a little bear with a little heart, $20,000. And Claude the Crab, you get Claude the Crab for $18,000.
I mean, Claude the Crab's worth it, though.
So if you had any of these Beanie Babies right now, you'd be rich, John.
I would say Claude the Crab is the best deal.
You wouldn't be having to do this show.
Right.
All right, John. So
it's like one of those things like, I'm imagining an episode of like Storage Wars where they just find one. It's like, do we have all the Beanie Babies? And they just quit the show.
Yeah. 'Cause, I mean, it's they're worth their weight in gold.
We found the areola.
Yes. Ariel, John. Ariel. So, John, let's end this week's show. Since we were talking about Conan O'Brien, he's a current late night host.
I know who he is.
I said let's play a little game. And this is your special talent on guessing things. I'm going to read a joke, and you have to guess which late night host said this joke.
Okay.
You think you can get it? You think you can? You think you can know the stylings of different late night?
Okay, but I mean, if you're gonna tell me something from like Carson, it's gonna be a little hard. But
No, I'll try to keep it a little bit more current.
Okay.
Arnold Schwarzenegger has been offered a role in a sequel to The Terminator. And this one, he travels back in time and kills the person who suggested he run for governor.
Okay. Okay, that sounds like, dude, that could be a lot of people.
It could be.
It's hard. I'm just gonna say Jimmy Fallon.
It was Conan O'Brien.
Okay.
It's Conan O'Brien.
All right.
Okay.
This is hard because they all have like parallel kind of jokes.
Uh-huh.
Especially like topical humor and shit.
Uh-huh.
They do.
You
Especially
think so?
like
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean, it could be a little hard.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I know climate change is a hoax, of course, but places that have never seen this type of winter weather got hit by it. More than 500,000 Southerners have been left in the dark, and then the storm hit.
Are they still a host?
Yeah, so all these are still hosts. Well, actually, don't. Maybe one of them on this list may not still be a host.
Okay, so we're still using
This one's still a host. Yeah.
We're using climate change. Let's say Jimmy Fallon.
This was Bill Maher.
Dude, okay, I was about to ask, does Bill Maher count? I'm not thinking of him like as a mainstream, like you know.
He's a late
no,
night
but I'm
host.
not thinking of him like ABC, NBC, CBS,
Uh-huh.
because that is a Bill Maher type of thing to say.
Uh-huh.
It is a Bill Maher joke.
Yeah, it is a Bill Maher joke.
Because not a lot of people are addressing like politics besides Bill Maher and like Colbert.
Yeah.
So so now that I know Bill Maher's part of it,
Yeah.
I would have guessed Bill Maher.
Okay. I visit Fox News
Maybe.
I visit Fox News every now and again, and it's nice because the eye of Mordor is above the building.
Has to be Colbert.
It's Jon Stewart.
Okay, so we're going back to guys that aren't. You said
I did say that one of them wasn't Stewart. Okay.
you fucking suck. I fucking hate you.
Okay.
This is our last fucking episode. I'm
Oh,
not
what?
joking. Guys, do we have enough to go into syndication?
We probably do. Okay. I'm trying to find a good one.
You get acquired by Amazon.
There's an old saying, John, about those who forget history. I don't remember it, but it's good.
Okay. Jimmy Kimmel.
That was Stephen Colbert.
Come on, dude. This is such a hard game. It's so ridiculous.
So George Clooney says he's had sex with too many women to ever run for office. He was immediately made Prime Minister of Italy.
Bill Maher.
That was Conan O'Brien.
God damn it. See, it's hard.
It is hard. Yeah, it is hard. Because it's...
Because now I'm thinking of politics, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. And it's funny, I go, it's so silly that it makes sense to be Conan, but now it's political, so it makes sense to be Maher.
Yeah. Okay. So President Obama filled in as the coach of his daughter Sasha's basketball team. Sasha evidently listened to her dad because all she did was drive straight down the center and piss everyone off.
Jesus.
That's a funny joke.
Conan.
That was Conan.
Nailed it.
Yeah, that was Conan. That was definitely Conan.
Nailed it.
Okay. So this was his take on gay marriage. Divorce isn't caused because 50% of marriages end in gayness.
Colbert.
That was Jon Stewart.
God. But come on. They're like the same. They were in the same network at the same time.
Okay.
Not a fair game at all.
Why do you think it's a fair game?
Okay. You wouldn't do much better.
Okay. No, I probably wouldn't. That's why I'm on this other side, John.
Mhm.
Okay. But if you want to create a game for me next time, you can. It's really. But
Yeah.
you wouldn't do it. It's too much.
No.
You wouldn't put it that much work into it.
I'd make them easy, but like, who's the asshole sitting across from me?
Okay, Democrats do have a historic race going. Hillary Clinton versus Barack Obama. Normally, when you see a black man or a woman president, an asteroid is about to hit the Statue of Liberty.
Mar.
That was Jon Stewart.
God damn. All right.
Okay. One last one, John, before we go.
Sure.
Okay. Christianity is the best way to cure gayness. Just get on your knees, take a swig of wine, and accept the body of a man into your mouth.
Mar.
That was Stephen Colbert.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pledgy for TV.
Yeah.
You know he's gotten away with some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He's gotten away with some stuff the last year or two where it's like, ooh, you're allowed to say that on TV?
Yeah.
All right, whatever.
There you go. So that's our show for this week, John. Did you have fun?
Absolutely not.
Wasn't this the most fun podcast that we've ever had?
No.
It was to me.
I believe you.
It was the most fun I've
That's
ever
why I
had.
fucking hate you.
It was the most fun. It's not gonna be as much fun as that end year top 10 movies that you love doing. You love that episode, right? Those episodes.
Well, it's fun.
Yeah.
Even
It's the only time I ever get you to do like work before.
Even though
you do it like 10 minutes before we start.
It's funny is last year I saw way more than you.
Uh-huh.
This year you're seeing way more than me.
You think so?
I don't know. I just know that there's a lot of movies that I kind of just didn't see that I kind of wanted to.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know.
I don't know how I'm gonna.
So I'm
do
gonna have to have like a weekend binge. Or I'm
It's
just gonna
gonna
have to
be
like dodge them.
yeah. It's gonna be an interesting year this year because I can't tell you. I mean, maybe I think I have the one that I think is the best this year, but
I have a feeling our 1 and 2 are very similar.
maybe yeah, probably.
We just don't know which one.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
You know.
But that you hear in like a month or two. No, 2 months. In 2 months you hear it. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's that thing going with the Scorsese movie, but we'll get into that
We'll get
later.
into it. Yeah. Yeah, they might hear it in our list.
Mhm.
Hopefully, right. So that's
Yeah.
it for this week's show, John.
Thank God.
Any parting words or advice you want to give our viewers before we leave for the week?
Yeah. If you guys are gonna start a podcast, find a better co-host than what I have right now.
This is the best I can find on $0 a year salary.
Yeah, I cannot wait till my probation is up. Get the fuck out of here.
4 more years, right? Your probation.
Yeah.
You should not have hit that horse, John. If you only knew it was really a police officer undercover.
No, I took a copyrighted broadcast by the National Basketball Association and I reproduced, and then
You got 10 years.
rebroadcast.
10 years probation.
Without the express written consent of the NBA.
10 years probation for that.
You'd be surprised what happens, guys.
So you're stuck doing this podcast with me every Sunday night until the end of time. So with that,
fucking NBA.
So with that, we leave you for another week.
Good night. Good luck.